Alright, you guys, welcome to the channel. I'm going to talk about a topic that I've been getting some requests on, and it's the write up process, the rule violation report. So, like if you get in trouble doing whatever and you get a write up, this is how it works. So, for me to explain that, I'm going to have to explain a couple other things really quick. In the California state prison system, if you're not doing life, when you get sentenced, you're gonna do a percentage of whatever your sentence is, and that percentage is granted if you maintain good conduct and good behavior. So generally it's halftime. So like if I got sentenced to, like, let's say I got sentenced to 2 years for a stolen car, we call it two with half, because it's a 2 year sentence, but I do half of it, so I do 1 year. And kind of how that works is I'll get out in 1 year if I don't get in any trouble. If I get in trouble and get write-ups, then I could do up to that full 2 years. So, like when people go to court, oh, I got two with half or four with half, you know, if it's like a violent or serious offense, then it used to be 80%, but now it's 66%, so 2/3. So I got five at 66, or I got 10 at 66. And this, what that means is you do 2/3 of that 10 years, or whatever the sentence is, if you stay out of trouble. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't understand that. They think it's an unconditional thing. Your halftime is just you get it no matter what, or your 66% time it just comes free. But it's not really how it works. How it works is you'll do that percentage and get out early if you're not getting in trouble. So how it works now, if I get a write up, depending on the type of write up it is, they will take a certain amount of my good time credits. So, like, if I got into a fight with someone and I got a write up for mutual combat, and they take 60 days good time, then I got to do 60 additional days on top of my percentage. So, like, if I got two with half, so 1 year or 12 months, then I got the write up and I lose 60 days. That means I would do 14 months instead of the 12. Does that make sense? And if I continue to get write ups, they'll continue to take good time credits all the way up until that 2 years. So if I'm a real big screw up, then I'll do the full 2 years. You know what I mean? So, but in most cases, you can actually, like, if you do get a write up and lose good time, if you go 90 days without any further write ups, you can get that good time back. So if you get a write up when you're locked up, it's not really the end of the world, and you can still have a shot at your early release. But yeah, so write ups are kind of broken down into different categories. There's administrative, and then there's serious. Administrative write ups are like not serious at all. They're like very uncommon. You don't really get them unless, like, the cop's being a dick, because it's really just paperwork. It's just like on paper, but it doesn't really hold any like weight as far as like your sentence is concerned. It'd be like getting caught talking to your buddy on the wrong tier or something, out of bounds, or just piddly shit. Again, you don't really see them that much unless you encounter a cop that just wants to be a dick and wants to do paperwork. But so your serious write-ups could be anything from getting in a fight to having a dirty urine test, battery on an inmate, possession of alcohol, possession of a cell phone. Even if you like break the law in prison, you'll still get written up for it on top of that. Like if I got caught with a weapon or something, or got caught stabbing someone, like, they'll DA referral me. They refer that case to the DA and try to have me tried on new charges, and they're going to give me a write up on top of that. But yeah, but it's like your basic, run of the mill write ups. So how it'll work is, like, if let's say I got into a fight on the yard, right? Mutual combat, 1-on-1. So I'll be served paperwork. So when you get a write up, you're going to get served with paperwork like within a week. And so a cop will come to your cell and hand you your write up, and it's going to be a little packet, and it's going to be like the officer's report. It's going to be like the rule you broke, the code, the section, and all that type of shit. Any evidence that they have to prove that you did the whatever the write up says would be included in that packet. Then you have to go to a hearing, RVR hearing, with the lieutenant. Okay, so you go in there, and it's a fucking kangaroo court. Like, it sounds good, like, okay, you can plead guilty or not guilty. And if you plead not guilty, you can make a case for why you're not guilty. You can call witnesses, you can introduce evidence showing that you're not guilty, but you don't want to fucking do that. They don't care. If you get a write up, you're fucked. even if you didn't do it, your best bet is to go in there and say, I'm guilty. Because if you do that, then maybe they can show leniency and like not give you whatever the maximum punishment is. So like just because a one-on-one fight carries 60 days loss of good time doesn't mean that they're going to give that to you. They might just take 30 days. They might not take any days and just give you loss of privileges for a month or whatever. But if you go in there and say not guilty, you're going to get no matter. They don't. It's a kangaroo court. Even if you really are like, let's say like two guys got in a fight, but they thought it was you and it wasn't you, you're fucked. You have to ride the beat. You have to ride it. You can't. What are you going to go in there and say? Oh, I'm not guilty because the officer is mistaken. That's not going to fly. They're just gonna fuck you even harder. So you have to just plead guilty and just get it over with and hope that they show leniency. So yeah, once they find you guilty, you plead guilty or whatever, the lieutenant will say, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna take 30 days and loss of yard for a month, and then that's what it is. Now again, if you go 90 days without any further write-ups, you can get that 60 days or 30 days or however many days they took, you can get that back. But see, on top of that, with these write-ups is they also can add points to your security level. So when you first come into prison, you are designated on a certain security level, and they use a point system, right? And depending on that point system, it'll determine your placement, either level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4. So minimum security to max security. And a lot of different factors will make up what your, aggregate points are going to be. But then you can gain points by getting write-ups. You can lose points by not getting write-ups every year. So, you could start out at level 1 minimum security and work your way up to level 4 if you're a knucklehead. So, you really don't want to be in the position to be getting write-ups. It screws you over, dude. Like it's not cool. Like it's gonna make you depressed, and you're gonna lose. It's just you don't want to start getting in trouble. But that's what that's what it is. Like one time one time I had to give a a urine test for whatever reason, and I was dirty for marijuana, and so I didn't know what to do, and I had a chance to like do a little whoop-de-wop on the CO. So when he wasn't looking, I poured this like disinfectant cleaner that they have there. It's like yellow Pine Sol kind of looking shit. I poured that in the bottle and turned it in because it's worked before. Well, a couple weeks later, I get a write up and it says dirty UA test for alcohol, and I'm like, what the fuck? But what can I do? I had to go in there to the lieutenant and say, oh yeah, I'm guilty. I made the mistake and thought it'd be okay to drink alcohol. Yeah, guilty. Because I mean, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Oh, I tried to circumvent your UA process by pouring Pine Sol in the fucking pee bottle. So that proves that I didn't drink alcohol. You know what I mean? Like I had to write it, and that pissed me off so bad. But yeah. So that's what that is. And on top of that, like losing good time is just part of whatever punishment is involved. Like the more serious write-ups it could be, it could also come with like what's called a shoe term. So that would be like a prescribed amount of time spent in ADSEG in the hole, basically. Like a shoe term is like a little term in the hole, and it's kind of like going to jail. Like you get stripped out and get put in a white suit. They take all your property, and you get stuck in go back to the hole, and you're in the hole with nothing for however long your term is, and then after the 30 days or 60 days or 6 months, whenever your shoe term's up, you come out of the hole. It's like getting released. It's like getting released from jail. You get all your property back, and you go see the sun again, and like, fuck, it sucks. But yeah, that could also happen. They could take your visits for a certain amount of time. They could take your privileges, canteen privileges. It just depends on the type of write-up it is and how serious it is, and what the lieutenant decides to whack you with. But yeah, so you just don't want to, if you're in that position, just go in there and just admit that you did it. Even if you didn't do it, you have to suck it up and take it. It's a fucking kangaroo court. They're not going to listen. They don't care, right? They don't want to hear it. And so that's that. And so you just got to be careful. Like if you're a lifer, you don't want to catch any write-ups, because they will hold that against you when you go to your parole hearing, and they will deny your parole eligibility for that. So they're a serious matter, and so you want to do your best to avoid them. But a lot of times in prison, like it's hard to not. The longer you're in there, the harder it is to like just go right up free the whole time. Sooner or later, you're gonna get in a fight. or something's gonna happen, or something outside of your control is gonna happen, a riot will kick off, or whatever the fuck, and it just sucks. Um, but yeah, so that's the write up process. You guys stay fine. Make sure to leave some comments. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. Help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'll see you next time.